Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Billings Wolves Dynasty as we are here in Pullman, Washington to take on the Washington State Cougars. Now, this is a top team in the country and an undefeated team, and we have our work cut out for us this week. Now, we're coming off one of the biggest upsets in Billings Wolves history in beating the Kansas Jayhawks, the best team that we have faced all year this year. And it only gets harder for us this week as we will be facing one of the top tier offenses in the country and one of the best throwing teams in the country. We're going to be facing off against some of the best quarterbacks and the best wide receivers in the country. We will be looking at a top 3 quarterback in the votes in Cam Ward and a top 3 and a top 5 wide receiver from Washington State, both juniors at the wide receiver position. We have our work cut out, and they're not even the best players on the team. They've got their defensive ends and a fantastic kicker to boot. So now this is a very important game for Washington State coming into promotion time, as this will keep them in the running for promotion with Alaska and Kansas. And for Billings, it will be a big game to try and stay out of that relegation battle down low, as that is something we want to overcome this year. We want to be middle of the road, and we want to get our prestige back. Luckily for us, we're going to get Dwayne Novak back this week, as he is back from his injury from the week prior. Now, we will see what kind of adjustments our defense can make, as passing defense has been our biggest weakness all year, and we are going to be facing the gauntlet this year with some of the best quarterbacks and wide receivers in the nation in this one. So we won the toss to start the game, and we will kick this ball off against the Cougars, and Peters will kneel this one down as they start this game from their own 25-yard line. So now we're going to be implementing our nickel coverage, and Dallas DeLoach is going to leave Nakia Watson on that one, and he'll pick up 41 yards on that reception. Cam Ward acted like he was going to run. He is a dual threat quarterback. That is something we have to keep an eye on, but you can't sacrifice losing the running back in the open when we're blitzing in man coverage. That needs to be cleaned up. So now Cam Ward is back to pass on this one, and he's going to find Victor on this one. He's going to break free from a tackle, and they will score on the second play of the game. Cam Ward, 75 yards to start the game, and the touchdown. They will take a 7-0 lead just like that. So now we're looking at a studio update here. Georgia Tech is going to upset North Carolina, as that is going to make things a bit more interesting on that side of the SEC. And looking at our side, we've got Boise State beating San Jose State. That is an interesting matchup there. And Oregon will finish the job by beating Second Haven, and that should just about secure their division. So now it is the Wolves' turn to take on the Cougars on this one, and Dwayne Novak will start the game off on his first game back from his injury last week with a 3-yard rush. Timothy Strickland's going to toss this one. Maybe a little bit ill-advised on that one, as Dwayne Novak was a bit slow on that one. Probably could have picked up a bit more yards. I'm sure Timothy Strickland was expecting him to be right next to him, and unfortunately he was not. 3rd down and 3. Timothy Strickland is going to keep this one this time, and he will pick up a good chunk of yards. That's going to be a 17-yard pickup from him, as that was a much better decision to keep on the play. Timothy Strickland now back to passes. He's got a little bit of time, and Corey Young is going to drop the ball. That's got to be caught. up the middle. He was open on that one, but taking his eyes off the ball, that is going to be a drop. Third down and long here for Timothy Strickland. Brady Ferguson's going to go and make that play, and he'll pick up the first down. Our very sure-handed tight end, one of the best players on our offense on the play, getting him involved early. Second down and 10, and Timothy Strickland will find Brady Ferguson on that play again, and he'll lose a yard as nobody was open. Third down and long again on this drive. Timothy Strickland back to pass. They'll bring the rush. He'll toss this one deep to Corey Young, and he'll go make the play. That's a touchdown for the Wolves. Big time play from Corey Young. He'll make up for his drop pass on the first one, and he will go up and make the play. 37-yard touchdown pass. That will bring the game back to a tie, as that will make it 7-7. That corner had no chance on the play. Studio update here, looking at San Diego State, who's at the bottom of the conference, facing off the top of the conference, and they will take an early lead on their first drive of the game, 7-0. That's got to be one to watch. So now we will kick this one off to Washington State on this one, and this time Stribling is going to get a chance to return this one. One of the best wide receivers in the country right there, and he'll pick up 22 yards. He's over 1,000 yards catching. He's one of the top 5 in yards this season and one of the top in the country for touchdowns. That is somebody we need to keep an eye on all day. Cam Ward, he's got all the time in the world. Pretty good coverage on that one, and Zariah Beeson is going to be that check down, and he'll pick up a nice 6 yards on first down. Second down and 4 here, and Stribling is going to receive that screen pass, and he will get involved, and he'll pick up a good chunk of yards. His first catch of the day goes for 13. Second down and 6 here for Cam Ward, and again, he's got all the time in the world, but good coverage there as he will throw that one away, creating third down and 6. Cam Ward back to pass on this one, and he'll find this Nakia Watson on the screen, and Dallas Stokes will read that one. He is the screen finder, and that will be a punt to the Wolves, and a very good punt from their very good special teams crew as we start inside our own 10, and Dwayne Novak will try and get us out of the shadow of our goalpost and pick up 6 yards on that first down play. Timothy Strickland now back to pass as he is going to find just a little bit of space there, but nobody's open as they are reading him instead of playing in the wide receivers as they sit in the zone. He's forced to try and find somebody open, but is going to be brought down, and that will create another third down and long already in this game. Inside our own 10-yard line, Timothy Strickland back to pass. He'll throw this one to Jaron Walter, and that's going nowhere. He'll lose a yard, and now we will have to punt the ball back to them, and that is going to set them up in fantastic field position. But Marcus Owens is going to come in there and find Cam Ward. That's going to be a sack, untouched. He'll lose 8 yards on the play. Marcus Owens, very good junior linebacker coming back from last season. He has made a big difference so far this season, even if it is a quiet. Nakia Watson on third down and long, and he will find just a good enough space to try and get their kicker into field goal position, one of the top kickers in the nation. And this will have the distance, but will stay right. That's going to be a miss, and the Wolves avoid danger. Studio update here, and Syracuse has gone and beat Michigan. That's a big win for Syracuse, and that will now put Michigan in the danger zone of not winning their division. It was a pretty sure point that they were going to get it, and now that's in question due to that upset. Big win for the Orange on that one. Timothy Strickland on second down. He'll pick up 1 yard, keeping it on this one, as that was a better decision than to pitch it out. We need to start capitalizing on these defensive stops. Timothy Strickland now back to pass, finding nobody open, and that is going to be a sack as the pocket collapses, as Ty Garay Harris is going to force another 4th down and a punt. Coverage very good, and the pocket just collapses. And we will now punt this ball off to the Cougars, and they will have some space to return this one. Peters is going to take this one, and he will break the first one, but that is good pursuit by the Flyers on that one, and he will only pick up 14, but that is still good field position for Washington State. Now Cam Ward back to pass, and he'll find an open Stribling. He's got to be closer coverage on that zone play, as he'll pick up 10 yards on that one, but not credited with the first down. Cam Ward now is going to hand that one off to Nakia Watson, and Michael Hall's not able to make the tackle, and he's going to outrun everybody, but Joe Paris is going to make the diving stop, and that will save a touchdown. 42 yards on the first rush of the game. Michael Hall should have had him in the backfield, and he is showing his JUCO sophomore, 68 overall linebacker on that play. Now Nakia Watson keeping this one on first down, as after his 42-yard rush, he'll pick up 7 yards on that first down. 2nd down and goal for the Cougars here. Cam Ward back to pass, as he's got all the time in the world, and Stribling is able to find some space. That's going to be a touchdown for Washington State, as Stribling is able to find the open spot, and Cam Ward able to set up a lawn chair and watch some tunes and make the pass still. 14-7 lead for the Cougars. And now Jaron Walters going to be going backwards on that outside handoff, as he will lose 5, as we are not off to a great start here. Corey Young is going to be not receiving the handoff, and now Sheldon Carey's going to go make the catch, and he'll pick up a good chunk back, making this a much more manageable 3rd down. One of the first 3rd down and shorts on the game so far, and Jaron Walter will pick that up, extending this drive for the first time in what feels like forever. 4.5 minutes left in the half, as Jaron Walter will go in motion, and he'll receive the swing pass, and he'll beat the first guy, but is unable to beat the second, and is gang tackled, and he'll pick up 8 yards on the play. 2nd down and 2. Dwayne Novak picking up the first down on that one on the inside handoff. He'll pick up 7 yards, and the drive continues to roll into Washington State territory. Timothy Strickland now back to pass, and the running back mixes the guy. He misses the rusher, and Timothy Strickland is going to be sacked. He was expecting Dwayne Novak to meet the blitzer and is unable to make the block that will set up 2nd down and forever. After the drive was doing so well, Sheldon Carey will try and make up for it. He'll pick up that catch, very contested catch. The sure-handed Sheldon Carey, he is being utilized a bit more this game than in the past. 3rd down and long here, and Sheldon Carey this time will drop it. That was very good coverage from the Cougars, and we will punt this one, trying to pin them deep and try and flip field position. Terrence Brothers will have a chance, but that will bounce into the end zone, and now the Cougars have 80 yards when 2.5 minutes and 3 timeouts to make a stand here. Cam Ward is just gonna get that one away. He'll find Billy Revere, and he'll pick up the first down on his first catch of the day. 2 minutes to go, 2nd down and 5. Cam Ward's gonna keep this one, and they're gonna give him the first down. How in the world do you give him the first down on that one? And that will stop the clock as they continue to move the ball down the field. Cam Ward setting up again with his lawn chair. He'll find Nakia Watson out of the backfield, and he'll pick up the first down, moving them into Billings territory. 1st down and 10 with 1.5 minutes in the half. Cam Ward again, all the time in the world, but this time flushed out of the pocket, and he will pick up a yard on that one instead of giving this sack. And that will force the first timeout for Washington State. 3rd down and long here after the Wolves use their first timeout. Cam Ward is going to find Victor on this one, and that is going to be stopped. Very good stop from the Wolves as they'll use their last timeout, and this will set up a long field goal from Janikowski. And he will this time put it straight through the uprights. Very deep kick. He had the leg all day. Could have made that one from 65, but will give the Cougars 3 points on that drive. So now it's the Wolves' turn. Can we do something with our last minute? And that ball will be let go into the backfield, into the end zone, as that has been what has happened all day. Timothy Strickland now back to pass. He'll step up in the pocket and he'll find Brady Ferguson up to the middle of the field. He'll pick up 7 yards as the clock will continue to tick down as we rush to the line, trying to get something out of this last drive before the half. Timothy Strickland again back to pass. He'll find Antoine Foreman and he'll wisely run out of bounds, but not before picking up 10 yards. We'll get the ball back at the second half, so getting points here would be huge. A 1-possession game would be massive, and that is not going to be a good start, as Timothy Strickland is going to be sacked again, losing 9 yards on the play, setting up another second down and forever. Timothy Strickland, bad snap. He'll be dropping back to pass, and he will force that one, and the safety will come and pick that up. Lockett, the third, will beat the route, and he will come and make the pick. And now Washington State is in fantastic field position to try and do something here. They are only just a few yards from field goal range, and Victor's going to hold on to that one. That's a brave catch on that play, and he'll pick up the first down, and Washington State will use their second timeout. 20 seconds to go in the half. Cam Ward back to pass. He'll find Beeson up the middle of the field. He'll pick up 18 yards on the play. That's a fantastic play to move them into great field position to try and score here. They still got a timeout to use. Cam Ward back to pass. He's got all the day, and Ollie, Donovan Ollie, one of the best wide receivers in the country. He'll get his first catch of the day, and it will be a touchdown as Washington State will take a 24-7 lead into half. That is a heartbreaker going into half. It would have been awesome to be down 1 possession, but being down 2 possessions would have been so much better. We still haven't been able to figure out how to stop the pass. Well, I've been throwing out everything. I've been trying to call mans. I've been trying to call zones. And we just can't leave Cam Ward back there in the backfield. We need to try and figure something out on the defensive end, or else this was looking like to be a blowout. Now Terrence Brothers is going to get a chance on this return, and he's going to run into one of his blockers on that one. He could have picked up more. The very dangerous Terrence Brothers really setting us up nicely on this second half. Corey Young's going to be caught from behind. He had some space to make a play there and is unable to make it happen, being caught from behind. Second down and long, as again we are behind the sticks on second down. Jaron Walter is going to keep this one instead of the handoff to Corey Young, and he'll pick up 4 yards as the rushing game has not been successful all day. Timothy Strickland back to pass on third down and long, and he'll find the sure-handed Sheldon Carey, our wide receiver number 1. Fantastic. Our senior. He is going to come up and make that catch. That's a big catch on that one. And we will continue this drive, as this is very much a scoring possession that we have to have. Jaron Walter will try and bounce this one off the edge, and he will find the space, picking up 10 yards on the rush. So now we're looking at first down and 10 from the Washington State 34-yard line. Timothy Strickland's going to keep this one. He'll beat the guy off the edge, and he will pick up 18 yards, as he has been the only saving grace on our rushing game so far in this game. Dwayne Novak now is going to get a chance, but that's going nowhere. He'll not pick up any yards on that one, as that will set up second down and 10. Jaron Walter on the counter on this one. He'll fight for the end zone, and he'll go make it happen. 17-yard touchdown run from him. And that will get us back closer and decrease this deficit to a 2-possession game as we put that one through. And it is now 24-14 on the back of Jaron Walter. So now Washington State will start this drive, and Cam Ward will start this one with throwing the ball to Victor, one of his favorite receivers on the day, as he picks up 6 yards on the play. 2nd down and 4 here for the Cougars. Cam Ward back to pass. He'll find Donovan Ollie on that one. He'll pick up 10 yards, and more importantly, he'll pick up a 1st down on his 2nd catch of the day. We have been in control of him, but we have not been in control of the passing game at all, as Zariah Beeson is going to pick up 6 yards on a Cam Ward rollout after getting some pressure. I don't know how Cam Ward is able to do this, but that is why he's one of the best in the country. But this time, Michael Hall is going to make the tackle, and they will force a 4th down as they go from their bread and butter and go into our hands. And we will start this drive after the fantastic punt from their punter inside our own 5-yard line. Jaron Walter will try and find some space, and he'll pick up 4 yards for us, as we need to move this ball and switch field positions. We need to capitalize after our defense does its job, and now Timothy Strickland will go and make the play. That is what we're looking for. This is why we have Timothy Strickland in the backfield, for plays like that. Timothy Strickland on 2nd down and 10. He'll hand this one off to Corey Young, and that's going nowhere. Washington State read that the whole way as they are into the backfield very quickly, and that will force another 3rd and long. That has been the story of this game. 3rd down and longs. Timothy Strickland, he's got the time to make the play here. Brady Ferguson will pick it up, but they're not going to give him the 1st down. That's some home cooking right there, as Brady Ferguson picks up 14, but is not able to pick up the 1st down. We need to score and capitalize on our defensive possessions. Jaron Walter will go and pick up the 1st down. Very gutsy call as we were deep in our own territory. He'll pick up the 1st down as we stay in this game. Timothy Strickland now back to pass. He's going to go throw that one to Dwayne Novak. He'll beat the first guy as he was reading the screen, and will luckily pick up 6 yards on that screen pass, as that will take us out of the 3rd quarter, and we have 8 minutes left to try and string something back. 2nd down and 4 here for the Wolves as we are at the midfield point. Corey Young going in motion, and Jaron Walters got the edge here. He'll try and find some space, tries to beat the first guy, and is unable to outspeed him. And he'll pick up a nice 16 yards. He was 1 block away and 1 burst of speed away from taking that one to the house. So now 1st down and 10. Timothy Strickland is going to fake the handoff, and he will toss that one. Corey Young looked like he was open, but a fantastic play by Sam Lockett III to knock that ball down. That would have been a nice chunk play. Now Timothy Strickland's going to keep this one, and that could have gone for more, but will only pick up 2 yards on that 2nd down play as we have another 3rd down and long. Timothy Strickland is going to be back to pass, and he'll throw that one to Sheldon Carey, and he's unable to make the catch. Unfortunately for us, his sure hands unable to make that one. We went for it on 4th down already this drive. Let's do it again. Timothy Strickland, he's going to find Antoine Foreman wide open, and they'll give him the 1st down. That is going to continue this drive. We still have life in this game. 2nd down and 4 here for the Wolves as we will hand that ball up to Jaron Walter. He's got some space. He could find the end zone here, and he will find the end zone. An 18-yard touchdown run from him as he gets to the corner of the end zone, and it is now a 1-possession game. That will make it 24-21, again on the back of Jaron Walter and Timothy Strickland's legs. Now it is up to our defense to go and make another stop. We need it big time here as we will kick this one off to Peters. He'll take this one from his end zone, and he's got a little bit of space here. He'll beat the first guy and will pick up a nice return for 39 yards. Not a great start to this drive. Can our defense hold up again? We need them to. Cam Ward now sitting at 2nd down and 1 at the midfield point pretty much, and Cam Ward will beat the first guy on that one, and he will pick up 14 yards. That's a big pickup as they move into the Wolves' territory pretty much to Janikowski's field goal range. That's got to be made. That has got to be made. That's Terrence Brothers missing another one. That is the story of Terrence Brothers. That's why we don't have him out there. But tired and being out there, we had to have him out on the play, and that is unfortunate timing to have him out there. And now Jenkins is going to be left wide open, and that is going to be a first down. 18-yard pickup from Jalen Jenkins on the play. First down and 10 as we are going to bring the house. Nakia Watson is going to be brought down for 6 yards on the play, and we need another stop here. Time is ticking down. 4 minutes to go. Cam Ward, he's going to be dropping back to pass, and they're going to find a wide open Lincoln Victor. How do we leave him wide open in the corner of the end zone? That is going to push this lead to a 2-possession lead again, as we only have 4 minutes to go in the game. Our offense is going to need to score quickly, and our defense is going to need to make another stop. Timothy Strickland's going to keep this one in. That's going to be red. He'll lose 4 yards as we start another first down in the backfield, and that will set up second down and behind the sticks. Timothy Strickland back to pass. He's got some time, and he'll toss this one deep to Corey Young as nobody else is open, and that is going to be knocked down at the point of attack. Third down and long. We need this one. Dwight Novak's going to keep this one as we were setting up for a more manageable fourth down. That is going to be the game right here. We need this play. Timothy Strickland back to pass. He's got some time and will force this one up the middle of the field. Antoine Foreman was open back there, but is unable to get the ball past the linebackers. That's going to be an interception. And now we have to really rely on our defense to try and make a stop here to keep us in the game, as now Washington State has to have a field goal here or else it's all over. Nakia Watson will start first down, and that's going to be wrapped up quickly on this one as that defense does its job on the plays. Second down and 8. Need another one here. 2 minutes to go in the game. Nakia Watson is going to find some space. Very good blocking. He will go and get the first down, and that will just about do it, and it will finish the way that the score is 31-21 as Washington State finishes the job with a fantastic performance from Cam Ward and the other wide receivers in Stribling and Ollie. And you can't leave out Lincoln Victor, as he was fantastic in this game, going for more than 5 catches on the day and the game-sealing touchdown. Big time plays from him. So after that very good showing that Washington State had, that will lead us to a 4-5 record on the season, and again showcasing that we have no idea how to stop the pass. And that's going to be a problem because that is what the top of the conference is really good at. They are very good at throwing the ball. And we're really good at stopping the run, but we got to figure out a way to stop the pass. That has been an absolute struggle all year whenever we faced anybody that has any semblance of a passing game. We have struggled. This was one of those that we did fairly okay in, but we had no answer for Cam Ward or Victor, Stribling, or Ollie, or any wide receiver for that matter. Our running game didn't go very well, and that's just what's going to happen when you're playing the top of the conference. We are just not there yet. That's something that we need to work on in our offseason. Is we need our training to go crazy because our recruiting is not going to be the strong suit this year after we went 2-10 last year and lost our prestige, which forces us to only be able to, it is going to severely restrict us in our recruiting. And on top of that, we're going to lose a cornerback from our home state to Minnesota Tech on that one. That could have been a good addition, and now that will leave us just with John Lowe on the year. This is looking like it's going to be one that is going to take us into the offseason this upcoming year. So that's a big loss for us, but we will be coming back to our level on these next few games, as we will be taking on San Diego State in this next one. This is going to be a huge game for us, as San Diego State is trying to avoid relegation in what they're doing, and as well as us. If we are able to beat San Diego State, we would virtually be safe from relegation and hopefully get our prestige point back. So one thing I wanted to talk about was Timothy Strickland versus the McDaniel talk that you could probably throw out there. You saw the stats there. They're pretty much the same quarterback. They've reached around the same passing attempts. They've both thrown about the same interception to touchdown ratio, which is awful, and a lot of that's on me as well. But one of the things that really keeps me going back to Timothy Strickland is the ability that he has to use his legs, and that is the difference maker for our team, which is one of the things that I talked about in the game that we just had. Having Timothy Strickland be able to reach out and go get those yards that we needed, that was massive. Our rushing game was not going well, and Timothy Strickland seemed to be the only one that could really bust it out and go and make the plays that we needed and try and continue our drives and move us more down the field. We had more explosive runs with him as a threat, which causes Jaron Walter to also get his 2 touchdowns on the game. So now we're going to be looking into conference standings, as we are down to the last 2 games and 3 games of the seasons for these teams in the conferences. So we'll start this off with the Tier 4 Independence Conference, as we have received our first promotion already for the Independents. Colorado State will be the team that is going to be promoted, even though they lost to Toledo this week. They're currently tied with Old Dominion, but because they are the newly relegated team, Old Dominion is going to be ineligible for promotion. Wyoming, Southern Mississippi, and Navy all lost this week, which they couldn't do. All 3 of these teams had to win out if they had a shot at trying to catch Colorado State, and with the losses, they're not going to be able to catch up to them. So Colorado State, out of the West region, is going to be the team that will be promoted, sending the bottom team of the West Division in the Conference USA down. So now going into Tier 1, going to start with the Pac-12 Conference. BYU has already been relegated to Tier 2, so now we'll look at the division standings. Oregon, as we saw in the studio update, beat Second Haven, so they have clinched their division, and USC have already beaten Utah, so they should also have clinched their division, which means we're going to have a rematch from last year where Oregon knocked off the undefeated USC team. This time, USC could be the team that knocks off Oregon this year to knock them out of the BCS championship game. So now talking about the Big 12, our danger teams for relegation right now are the bottom team SMU, TCU, and Houston. Joplin is not in a danger team because they are one of the newly promoted teams, which means they are safe from relegation due to the relegation and promotion rules. So SMU is in a very dangerous spot. They've already lost to TCU, which happened to be in overtime, and they're going to be playing Houston in one of the last games of the season. That's going to be a massive game that they need to win. Their other game that they will play is against Joplin. There's a good chance that SMU could get themselves out of the bottom if they can just win a couple of those games. So now looking at TCU, they have already beaten SMU, like I said, and they are not going to be ending up playing Houston at all. So what they need to do is start winning some games. So they have Iowa State and Joplin to finish the season. A little bit more difficult, but still Iowa State's a bottom team, So they still have a good shot of staying alive. All they need is just one win from that, and they should be staying up. Houston still has to play SMU and will end up playing them at the end of the season. The other team that they're facing is going to be Texas. So that's going to be a very difficult game. That's a number 12 team in the country and a team that is trying to vie for their division and play for the conference championship. So now looking at the Central Division, Oklahoma State is going to be finishing this season facing off against the other contenders at the top, Texas and Texas A&M. This is really wide open for everybody right now. Anybody could be winning this Central Division between Oklahoma State, Texas, and Texas A&M, which could be a very interesting finish to the season. Oklahoma has already beaten Arkansas and should be sealed as the division champs for the second season in a row as they continue to try and keep their BCS National Championship hopes alive. So now looking at the SEC, the danger teams down here for relegation are UCF and surprisingly Tennessee. So UCF has already beaten Tennessee too on top of all of that. And all they have to do is win one more game and they're going to be safe. Tennessee's already played all the conference games that they are going to face all year and are reliant on UCF in their last game of conference season. And that team that UCF will have to face is the number 14 team in the country in the Miami Hurricanes. And they will face them in this upcoming week. If they win that one, then Tennessee, the big time Tennessee, will be relegated to Tier 2 and the American Conference. That would be a big time shakeup as Tennessee was projected to win their division and instead they are down here at the bottom. So after Georgia Tech goes and performs the upset against North Carolina, that now opens up a lot of opportunities. Although North Carolina has already beaten Georgia, and all they will need to do is beat Louisville, and they will win the division. But that loss to Georgia Tech does make it a bit more questionable, as now Georgia could win out if North Carolina ends up losing to Louisville. And on the other division, Alabama has lost to Miami. So that could also shake up. Alabama is looking for their second in the conference championship game, and they will be facing off against the number 25 team, Florida, and their rival Auburn to try and stay up at the top. All they need to do is win both or have Miami lose one, and they will be playing for the conference. So now looking at the last Tier 1 conference, the ACC. The danger teams for relegation in this conference are going to be Cincinnati, West Virginia, and Pitt. Purdue has done very well as the new team to the block, as they are not even close to a relegation discussion, as they have 3 wins in the conference. Good for them after their awful start to the season. Cincinnati is not going to be ending up playing West Virginia or Pitt this year. And on top of that, they're going to be finishing off against Penn State and Syracuse. And they're going to have to try and find a win amongst any of those teams to try and stay alive. Those are both top 25 teams, and that is going to be a challenge for them. All they have to do is find one, and West Virginia to not find a win. West Virginia got their first win this week and is going to be finishing off against Notre Dame and Pitt. That Notre Dame game is going to be a bit more difficult, and that Pitt one is going to could be a battle to save West Virginia's life. And Pitt just needs one more win to absolutely secure safety from Cincinnati in one of their games against either Boston College or, as aforementioned, West Virginia, just to be safe. So looking at the divisions, Ohio State finished off Notre Dame this week, and that will absolutely clinch the division for them for the second time in a row, as they have dominated this division and the NCAA, as they are again hoping for a repeat at their national championship last year. Now looking at the other division, that loss that Michigan had to Syracuse really opens things up. Michigan has already beaten Penn State, and they will be finishing off their conference slate against their rivals, Ohio State. That is a huge game and a big loss for Michigan in that Syracuse game, as that puts them in major danger. They will have to rely on Penn State losing a game if they are going to try and win the division for a second time. So now we'll be looking at the tier 2 conferences that still have about 3 games to go for some. We will be starting with the Mountain West Conference, the most important to our Billings Wolves. So looking at promotion, like we said at the beginning of this video, Washington State, Alaska, and Kansas are all teams that are fighting for that promotion spot to the Pac-12. Now, the team that we just faced with Washington State, they're at the top of the conference, and they're going to finish their season going up against the top of the conference in Alaska and Kansas to try and seal their promotion. Now, Alaska is also going to be facing the top of the conference, and they will be playing Boise State, Kansas, and Washington State to round out their conference play. And on top of that, Kansas will also be playing against the best teams in the conference, Washington State and Alaska, and then they'll round off with California. This is going to be a very exciting finish for the Mountain West Conference for the promotion battle, as every top team will play against each other to try and clinch that spot. Now, with 3 games remaining at the bottom of the conference, it's really difficult to know who is in the most danger, other than realistically Fresno State and San Diego State. You could probably throw Stanford in there if you really wanted to, but if we lose this next week against San Diego State, you also need to throw our name into that hat as well, which is not even close to what we were hoping for with this season. So now looking at the Big Ten Conference, the very wide open Big Ten Conference, there is still lots to play for, with each team still having a lot of games left to be played. So it is very difficult to really know how that is shaping out. The top teams we're looking at right now are UTEP, Tulane, and Wisconsin. You can't say Nebraska because they are the team that was relegated last year, so they are ineligible for promotion. And at the bottom, pretty much the same as last year, there is a lot of teams that could be in that bottom spot, but we're looking at those bottom 4 right now, looking at Iowa, UTSA, Tulsa, and Minnesota. Those are the teams in the most danger going into these last 3 weeks of the season. Now, looking at the very exciting American Conference, there are multiple teams, just like a lot of the Tier 2 conferences, that still have a shot at promotion because a lot of them still have a lot of games to be played. The top 4 or 5 teams realistically still have a shot. Wake Forest has a shot. NC State has a shot. UAB is looking for the opportunity to move up on a double promotion. South Carolina has a shot. Mississippi State has a shot. NC State, yeah, they're at the top of the conference. They are the team that was relegated last year, so they are ineligible for promotion. And Wake Forest is hoping for that chance to move up. There's still a lot to be played going into the last few weeks of the season, and there are 3 games left for most of those teams. Now looking at the bottom, Memphis just lost to Virginia Tech, which really puts them in danger of being put into that relegation zone spot. because that loss really sets them back as Virginia Tech now holds something over them. Now looking at the MAC conference, Miami, Ohio could seal their promotion by beating Western Michigan in this upcoming week. If they win that one, they will go 3 games up, and that will give them that promotion spot. Bottom of the conference, who knows what could happen? There's still 3 weeks to go in this conference, and going from 3rd to 10th all have a chance of fighting for that relegation spot. And now to round it all off, we are looking at Tier 3, the Conference USA and the Sun Belt. So looking at this central region of the conference, the game this week between Rice and Northern Illinois should really decide who's going to win the division and that chance to compete for the promotion into Tier 2. And they will be expecting to be going up against either Air Force, Utah State, or Rapid City. Now, if one of those winners were to face Air Force, they would automatically be promoted to Tier 2 because Air Force is going to be ineligible for that promotion as they were the team that was relegated from the Mountain West last year. Now, Utah State could realistically clinch the division with a win and an Air Force loss to Rapid City this week. Now, like I said, Air Force is ineligible for promotion, but they could still win the division with a win against Rapid City and if Utah State were to take a loss. Now, Rapid City does realistically still have a shot of winning the division, but they have to win out and have to have Utah State lose out. If they were to be the team that wins the division. Now, UNLV needs to win out and have Nevada lose out if they want to avoid relegation after knowing that Colorado State is the team that's going to be promoted out of Tier 4. UNLV just lost to Nevada, so they really need to win the rest of their games and have Nevada lose the rest of their games if they want to stay alive. And now to finish it all off, we're going to be looking at the Sun Belt, starting with the Northeast Division. Temple has clinched the division and their shot at promotion, and they will be looking to see who they will play out of the Southeast, which could be Virginia, Western Kentucky, or South Alabama. So Virginia is ineligible for promotion, but could win the division with a win this week and a Western Kentucky loss either this week or the next week. Western Kentucky will clinch the division if they're going to win out because they've already beaten Virginia in the season. And looking at South Alabama, they could secure a chance at double promotion after being the team that was promoted out of Tier 4 if they were to win out, because they are going to be finishing up with Virginia and Western Kentucky, which would put them a win ahead of both of those teams. So that will round it all up. The promotion and relegation is really starting to heat up. We'll get into the promotion and relegation show in the next coming weeks, but I am excited for how this season will shape up, and we are hoping to hit a winning streak to try and get our prestige back. We will see you next week.